Thank you for choosing to listen to Streetcasts. In this series, I want to explore and explain individual tools, techniques, or approaches that I use for my street photography. I hope you take the time to comment if you have any thoughts, and if you'd like to hear more, please don't forget to subscribe. Showing people going about their private lives in public spaces is most of what street photography is about. How a public space is used, how people behave, and how life exists on the street. While we are looking for aesthetic or interesting cameos, people with empathy tend to feel uncomfortable imposing on others. I can understand this, as I hate the idea of someone maybe left with a bad feeling, have a bad day or worse, simply because I want to pursue my art. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone. It appears to me that the most vocal street photographers seem not to care about the effect on or compassion for their subjects. But that was not the case with the more traditional and quiet street photographers of the past, and from their history and style we can learn a thing or two. Cartier-Bresson was a photojournalist. He earned his living through visual storytelling for the news. He photographed the funeral of Gandhi, various civil wars, and was a photographer in World War II for the French army. Later, after a stint as a prisoner of war, he escaped and documented the occupation and eventual liberation of France. These examples are horrific, but also require an element of solemnness, respect, and subtlety, something that undoubtedly influences the value one would place on dignity, respect, and compassion, not to mention life. His work was still hard-hitting and candid, but I think in a respectful way. The irony is that without empathy and compassion, we can hardly understand another person's predicament. As a result, without a sense of feeling, we are not going to lightly represent a story correctly. Now, I'm not suggesting we go to war zones to witness atrocities to become better street photographers. What I am saying is that we need to decide if the current idea of in-your-face and a no-holds-barred approach is actually what we personally want to strive for. If the indifference to people is a disturbing concept to you, then you already find yourself leaning towards a more humanistic approach. Do we really want to give up caring and lose our identity because someone else has, and then listen to them vehemently push that we should do the same? I chose a long time ago that the Henri Cartier approach with empathy, compassion and respect was something I felt inherently. And I guess if you're listening to this, you do too. I concentrated my efforts on agreeing for myself a moral framework for my street photography and established a visual style that did not compromise it. Perhaps you should look at the work from other people, reject the currently trending style that is probably not appropriate for you, and like me, build your own. Even if you find yourself very similar in style to someone of the past, the moments you capture will still make your work unique. After all, a table is still a table, whether it is a flat stone in the Neolithic or a flat pack from Sweden with screws missing. The real value, though, is in how long it lasts, not how exciting it was to make.